All right, what's good, everybody, man? Y'all see the title, man. If I ain't seen something, I mean, to be honest, I've seen worse lists. Actually, no, that was probably the worst list. But I've seen some lists that's similar to that. And it's like, the thing about it is, the minute I seen that it was a Billboard Top 50, I was like, all right, this ain't gonna be good. This ain't gonna be good. And y'all seen it. Y'all probably seen it. I'm sure. I mean, any of y'all that actually listen to rap music and actually got a lot of respect for it was a little upset at how it ended up and how they was rating rappers and how they was putting them up there. Because I know, because whenever the Billboard or Vibe or Rolling Stone or any type of platform like that does like a top 10 or top 50, top 20, whatever type of rating rappers or albums of all time, a lot of it's gonna be based on popularity, record sales, and that's their main criteria of putting people on pedestals and putting them up there is because those are the popular artists, and that's just how those type of like the media platforms operate, you know, and it's because everything's watered down these days. Everything is all about who who got the catchiest record, who got the the most album sales, the most streams, all the just all the meaningless stuff. They don't ain't about you know ain't about the craft anymore. It ain't about the bars, the lyrics, the multi syllables, just delivery, the voice, the power, behind the raps. You know what I'm saying? The impact it has on a community, on the game, not just like by sales, just by how they change the game, like how the game just shifts, not just by like, okay, he's just selling the most records. He's talking about like people were actually following this rapper. Other rappers are actually looking at this rapper like, man, this dude is bad. This dude is hot. I'm trying to, they start doing the same things that they doing. That type of impact. That type of power. You know, you don't see that no more. You know what I'm saying? You see like whoever got the hottest record. That's who everybody's trying to mess with. That's who everybody's trying to say is the best rapper. You got all these rappers that ain't even made a classic album yet. I ain't heard I don't think I heard a classic album in so long. I can't even remember the last classic album that came out. It's hard for me to even think about it. I can't even think. I mean, I gotta go back years to me to even like figure out when was the last classic album. As you can see, I'm a little hyped about this. I'm very upset about this because me personally, I'm a hip hop historian. As far as just, I've been listening to hip hop since I was like 6, straight up. I've been on everything. I listen to everything. If you know me throughout my life, you know that I had every CD at one point in my life until I got jacked a long time ago out of my car. Somebody just took my whole CD case out of my car and I had everything. Literally, I had a CD case just for straight East Coast rap, had a CD case of West Coast rap, had a CD case of down south and Midwest. I had everything, booklets, everything. Bought them, all that. Just lost my. Just, as a kid, I was all over hip hop. One of the most amazing things to me, the most creative things that was ever done on this earth was hip hop. To me, just me personally, just from a creativity standpoint, from the production. That's why I'm a producer right now. Because I listen to so much hip hop and I had so much respect for the game that I was so into beats and production that I had to do it. I had to be a part of it in some way and I had to be able to create in some way. And I'm still doing my thing, but it's like I just don't like it. It's just like who are doing this list? Like who raised these people? You know what I'm saying? Are these kids doing this list? Are these like who are these people? People. I mean, I don't know. I just get confused, man. Like I'm at the point where I'm just like, you know what? It has to be said. We gotta do better than this. We really do. I just can't respect it. You got like your top 10 has to be respectable for me. Like we all got our own opinions about music. I get that. We all got it's like it's not easy to do a top 50. There's so many nice rappers in the game right now, or in the game that have been in the game that have done it from all the way from the '80s, from Cool Mo D, freaking Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five, Melly Mel, freaking just so many rappers. You know what I'm saying? LL. I'm gonna get to him in a second because I didn't want to say nothing about him because he's in my top 10, by the way. But like LL and just Grandmaster Cash, come on, man. It's like you got all these crazy rappers from back in the day, and then you got the '90s, which is kind of like it kind of changed. The '90s just changed the game and just took everything to a whole nother level. You know what I'm saying? Got NWA, Snoop Dogg, all the gangster rap, Ice T, Ice Cube, Dr. Dre, Easy E. You know what I'm saying? That's that NWA right there. You know what I'm saying? And then you got the East Coast, completely changed the game. Nas, Wu Tang, Jay Z. All these rappers came out in the early '90s. You feel me? It's like, what I'm saying? Tribe Called Quest. Seriously. All these different groups and acts. Mobb Deep. I mean, come on, man. And you got the Down South Outcast, Scarface, and the Ghetto Boys, UGK. Come on, man. It's like there's so much. It's crazy. And then you got they just putting these rappers on pedestals and shit. It's ridiculous. I mean, I just can't even do it no more. Sometimes I'd be like, man, I don't even want to rock with it no more. I just want to stick with the old stuff that I'd be listening to. I feel like, I'm starting to feel like, how I used to look at the old heads back in the day when all they want to listen to is just soul music, 70s. They want to listen to, they just want to listen just to all the soul music, just James Brown. They didn't want to hear no hip hop. They're like, man, he's already like, and they biting off of James Brown. I was like, I get it. Everybody bites off everybody, but it is what it is. But that's hip hop. Hip hop is taking, it took those soul elements, it took the jazz, took the blues, and took all those elements and turned it into a different kind of music, just a more fresh kind of music. Would put the drum beats behind it, the break beats. It's all that, man. It's just, come on, man. It's just like it changed the game. Turned it into something more it expanded on just all those elements of music. That's why I love hip hop so much. A lot of people like to say, "Oh yeah, it's not music." It's not something that it's not a musical thing. It's not like there's not a whole lot of instruments behind it. It's just a lot of just beats that are just crafted together and sampled and turned into a different sound. That's the beauty of it. It just takes all those elements of music from even rock music. It takes all those elements of music and turns it into just a hip, fresh, and fresh type of sound to where you can rap on it. You can ride the beat. You can rhyme on it and make it sound fresh. And then people get so creative, they can get introspective about it. They can tell a story. It's just there's so much about hip hop that's crazy, and it's so watered down now to where it ain't about that no more. It's about people just rapping, like they're just saying just stuff that's just they might think is catchy. They're talking about cars, they're talking about money and women, just just all the watered down stuff that you can't even sit that's just like fast food. You just kind of listen to it, it's like, oh yeah, it's cool, it's kind of catchy, and then you just walk away from it. You don't really ain't a lot of music that you listen to and you come and you turn it off and you sit back and think about it like, dang, that was tough. Dang, that bar was crazy. You don't ever hear nothing like that no more. It's ridiculous. I'm just like, I don't understand, man. I'm just like, I just like I can't do it, man. I'm just sitting here listen. I'm trying to listen to some of the music I be listening to, and I just be like, man, I don't see how you can listen to music and tell me that some of those rappers are nicer than the rappers that were before that, or even not even put on the list. I'm like, what are you like? You put Melly Mel at like 48 or something weird like that. I was like, what? I mean, I get it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, Melly Mel's a little bit before my time. I'm a early 80s baby, so I couldn't really digest him as well as, a lot of people older than me. But I know he's a nice rapper. He's one of the OGs. He's a pioneer, as a rapper. Anybody had him in the top 10, I'm not arguing that. That's just how I feel. Like, there's just certain lists, like there's certain people that if you put them in your top 10, and even though they ain't in my top 10, or if they ain't in my top 20, I'm respecting it just because I know their impact to the game. Straight up, if you old as I am, I mess with Melly Mel, I mess with Kool Moe Dee, I feel you because back in their day they had it. They were nice. They put an impact in the game. Houdini. You know what I'm saying? Big Daddy Kane. Come on, man. Cool G Rap. I mean, just rappers that that in the Juice Crew, KRS One. Come on, man. Like, it's like these are rappers, like people that were like when they was MCs, like straight up, like it was in a park, had the two turntables, and they had the mic, and they had everybody's attention in the park. It was nothing. It was like, and it was just, and people was like, what are they talking about? Like like let me. I'm trying to be like that. They fresh. I'm trying to be like that. Got the whole neighborhood on lock. Got the whole show on lock. Go to the club. Do the show. Have the whole club going crazy. Like they just seen an event of a lifetime. Straight up. Ain't like that no more. Man, these concerts ain't the same. People come back concerts. Oh yeah, I seen them. I seen such and such, and it's all good, and that's that. What I'm saying? It ain't nothing memorable. Ain't nothing like it changed. It ain't life changing anymore. It's just, you know, it came in. It kind of came and went. It's crazy, man. The game is like it ain't the same that it used to be, man. I'm just disappointed. I just look at these lists that they be putting out there and that they be glamorizing and putting on Front Street for me to see. I mean, I wasn't even looking for the list. This list just was popping up on my phone every time I'm trying to look for something. I'm trying to look for shoes or I'm looking for clothes and trying to buy some stuff. And next day I know I get a ticker on it saying top 10 list, top 50 of such and such. And I look at this, I'm like, who, like, in the top 20? Like, who is this? Like, they haven't even done nothing yet. Like, they haven't even done nothing. They haven't made a classic yet. They haven't made an album that, that'll be passed down to generations. Like, to this day, like, people were listening to, like, man, that album's crazy. Like, there's albums right now. There's classic albums. Like, I remember I listened to the Life After Death. I was listening to it like a couple weeks ago. You know how much better that album sounds right now? It's insane. Like, I'll be listening to the classic album. I'll be like, you know what? I'm just gonna listen to a classic album one day. I just be in the car on the way to work or doing something where I'll be doing deliveries and stuff like that when I'm just trying to make a little extra money. And I'd be listening. I'd be like, I'm gonna pop in a class, just something I know is a classic. Like, I know that universally everybody messes with that album, and I listen to it and I'll play it. It sounds so much better now because the game is so watered down. I was in disbelief. Like, just somebody, you just hear people rhyme. That's why, like, when I put stuff on, I can't believe it. Sometimes I'd be like with some people younger than me. I'd be playing some music for them at work and stuff like that. I'm like, listen to this real quick. They listen to it. They're like, what is this? They're like, this is like crazy. I'm like, yeah, it's crazy, ain't it? Yeah, compared to what you've been listening to, right? It's crazy, man. People, like, the game is watered down. You know what I'm saying? It's like the production, it went up. I feel like the game is just kind of shifted to where the production is up here and the rapping is like down here somewhere. It used to be the opposite. The production was kind of like, it was cool, but not too much to where the rapper had pretty much the control of the beat. It ain't now where the beat is just the headline of the song. Like, the beat has to be hot in order for the song to even pop off. You know what I'm saying? The rapper can be saying whatever, can be talking about whatever, but it's the beat. The beat is what kind of engineers the song. So, I don't know, man. It's just crazy. Anyway, I'm gonna get off my soapbox on that part. I'm gonna give you my top 10 rappers. I put it on my Facebook page just a second ago, and because I'm triggered right now. But my top 10 rappers. For me personally, this is my opinion. I know everybody else has their own opinion, and that's fine. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, if you pull your top 10, and I think if they within my top 50, and they're in your top 10, I'm respecting it straight up. That's just me, because I know it ain't easy. There's a lot of rappers, and even when I listen to my top 10, I'm not 100% sure. Because there's other rappers, even in my top 20, I'm like, dude, it's like interchangeable. My top 5 was kind of solidified, but my top, anything under that, it can change any day. Like, I can randomly say, you know what, dang, Jadakiss is nice. I might have to throw him in my top 10. I might have to just toss him in there. I might, just stuff like that, man, because he's in my top 20. At the least, on any given day. Like, he's sitting somewhere in 20, easy. He could be top 10 on another day. I remember after the Dipset Locks battle, he was in my top 10. He was almost in my top 5, because that was just a perfect display of MC, and that was the last time in a while that I've seen, or that was a long time, and I haven't seen it since. And that was the last time I really it was a long time when I seen somebody actually get on the mic and conduct themselves like an MC. Just actually just get up there and just control the crowd, control the whole situation completely. Like just controlled the mic, controlled the whole show. He was it just and he was up there amongst with other greats amongst his own crew. Styles P, Sheik Luch, two great rappers. And sometimes, that's the thing about the Locks is that everybody, they at one point I thought one of them was nicer than the other. Like, and when they first came out, I thought Sheik was the nicest one in the Locks. So when it was with Puffy and the Bad Boy, when they was messing with Bad Boy, I thought Sheik was that guy. I thought Sheik was like, okay, Sheik is the number one, the nicest of the three. Then Jadakiss, then Styles P. When they went to Rough Rider, Jadakiss' first album came out. I was like, no, it's Jadakiss easily the best rapper, easily the best rapper out of the three. Like he's the best rapper. Then I was neck and Styles P and Sheik are neck and neck. Then Styles came out with Gangsters and the Gentlemen. I thought Styles was the best rapper. I'm like, oh, that's what makes a great group. When I look at all them rap, that's why they're one of the best groups of all time. Like I'm gonna get into that another time, but they're one of the great. They're definitely top 5 greatest groups of all time, easily. Just because at one point I thought each member of the group was the best rapper in the group at one point. No matter what, that's just to me that's crazy. But anyway, yeah. Let me give you my top 10. I'm gonna start from the bottom. My number 10 best rapper ever is DMX. And the thing about the thing about with rappers is that for me, like a lot of it has to do with impact and just basically bars, delivery, voice. There's a lot of different factors go into it. How they change the game, just all that. You know what I'm saying? And just impact. And when DMX came out, with the Rough Riders anthem and Get At Me Dog, it was just different. It was totally different. His voice was different. It was aggressive. It was raw, and you could just feel the energy. Like the energy. It was just like something else. You know what I'm saying? One of the few rappers that had that big energy, like Busta Rhymes, is in that vein of just having a big energy rappers. But DMX was just on some just raw. I think it was at a time where the streets needs like in 98, 99, I think, when he came on the scene a little bit, like he came heavy on the scene. I think he was rapping for a minute, but he came heavy when with that, and then he just he just created a masterpiece in my opinion. What is Dark as Hell is Hot, and that's another thing that these rappers like you gotta have a classic album at some point on some level. It's you gotta have a classic album. So it's just crazy, but he came out with when he came out with Dark as Hell is Hot, I couldn't believe what I was listening to, straight up. I was sitting there, I just listening to it, and it was just so dark. Like that's probably one of the darkest albums, just straight up, just on some just straight raw East Coast rap, just dark and real, and just raw, and he's just spitting. It's just real. You can just feel it. Just feel the energy, and it was just amazing how the album just progressed as you're listening to it. You know what I'm saying? And just listen to all the songs, and then you start slowly getting towards the end, and then it just lightens up, and it just changes, and he's reflecting on it. Just kind of like it's right after, and it's like in the middle album, it kind of gets to his dark. So when he goes to Damien, when he gets into Damien and doing all that, and then it's towards the end, and then you can tell he's reflecting on himself, and then he does the prayer, and then he does a prayer at the end of the album, and it's just like it's like listening to a movie. Like it's a movie of himself, of him, going from just raw, just street dude, and I'm in the hood, and I'm just doing my thing. And now I'll do whatever, what I'm saying, to get it. What I'm saying, I'm just raw and in the hood. I don't got no, I don't got no regard. And then you just see him unfold himself into just a man reflecting on himself and improving himself. So it's just like It's just one of the. It just amazed me. You know what I'm saying? He did this Dark as Hell is Hot, and then he came back with Flesh of My Sweat, Blood of My Blood. So he had two in the same year. The same year, this dude freaking do hit for hit, two for year. You ain't never seen nobody do that. You know what I'm saying? Have two big albums in 1 year. You know what I'm saying? That everybody just amazing, just amazing. You know what I'm saying? Then he just then all then his next albums are then there was X. The Great Depression, and it's just he start going down the line, and then it's just and then rappers you can never I mean that's the one thing about rapping. It's like usually you come at your best in the beginning because your first album takes a lifetime. They say the first album takes a lifetime to do, and then after that it just kind of dips off. Then it kind of dips off a little bit. And then sometimes you reinvent yourself. Sometimes you come back to the essence of it, and then you create that next that great another maybe in one or two more great albums, and then just kind of just trail off because you're running out of ideas. You know what I'm saying? You kind of just you essentially just burn yourself out, and I think that's what happened to DMX towards the end is he's kind of burned himself out. And he had his other issues. I'm not gonna get into all that. I'm just strictly talking about I'm saying just him as an artist. And I think he's a credible artist. He had one of the best voices in the game, one of the best deliveries in the history of the game. Very, what I'm saying, and he's just just a gifted rapper. Can freestyle whenever, just in a thoughtful, introspective rapper. When it came down to it, he just was that guy, and I respect him for that, and that's why he's number 10 on my list. So, much respect to DMX. Rest in peace, man. You definitely one of the greats, and you impacted the game in a major way. And I respect that about you. Now, give me a second here. I'm going off the dome, but I gotta keep myself focused. I got myself a little. Look at my notes here because I'm trying to be focused and make sure I give it to you right. So, number 9, you can say it's kind of controversial, but everything I've heard him rap about, every time I heard him do a freestyle, even now, what I'm saying, a while back I heard him do this freestyle, and it was just crazy off the top of the head, and even other rappers respect him. Other rap I just see the respect. I remember I was watching I think it was either I don't know if it was Funk Flex. It was on Hot 97. It was something on YouTube. We're talking about saying he's an old head now. He's an old head, but he was up there with Method Man, and Method Man's in my top 20. He could be in my top 10 sometimes, But I'm probably rating him down a little bit because his albums he could easily be in my top 10. But even though one of his albums is crazy to me, to Cal, the first to Cal, that's another dark album, by the way. You know what I'm saying? So like I said, I'm all over the place with it, but I'm pretty cool with my top 10 at the moment. But my number 9 rapper is Black Thought, and the reason why is because I've heard just some of his freestyle. Even isn't that like when he was doing that freestyle with Method Man, Method Man knew who he was up against. He's like, man, oh man, so I'm here with Black Thought. Oh, I gotta come with my best stuff. You know what I'm saying? Because he knows Black Thought is Black Thought. You know what I'm saying? One of the best rappers ever to come out. He's probably the best rapper to ever come out of Philadelphia, easily. You know what I'm saying? Some people these days would probably say Meek Mill. I'm like, you're crazy. You're crazy, right? You're crazy. You haven't heard the Roots. Come on, man. Like it's like Black Thought. You know what I'm saying? He's also another introspective rapper. You know what I'm saying? Very very thoughtful. That's why his name is Black Thought. Very thoughtful with his lyrics. You know what I'm saying? Very very quick witted with his rhymes. Very especially with his freestyles. It's crazy. You know what I'm saying? He's one of the greats. You know what I'm saying? He's in his work with the Roots. I guess that's where the controversy is because he's always rapped in a group. He's never really had like a supreme like a classic solo album where he kind of stood on his own and created like a solo album. So you can kind of some people say the same thing about Andre 3000. You know what I'm saying? Who's also like hovering around my 10, 20 area. You know what I'm saying? He can and you can throw him in my top 10. in place of Black Thought. You know what I'm saying? Because he's also the same. You know, very introspective. Outkast is probably my top three, one of my top three groups of all time, just because of Andre. You know, and his work on ATLiens and Quimini. You know, what I'm saying two of my favorite albums of all time. You know, I listen to like at least once a week to this day. But you know, just off of that. But you know, Andre's, you know, he's definitely in my he's definitely in high regard. But you know, I don't know, for whatever reason, Black Thought just kind of stands out as far as just him as just being a straight up MC and just being able to just at the snap of a finger, you know what I'm saying, hey, rap, you know, right now, and he'll just blow you away with what he's talking about. He'll just his rhymes will blow you away, and he's just incredible. Like he just, you know, to where you're just like, man, he's like the best rapper I've ever heard in my life. Type of freestyle. You know, at the drop of a hat, he can just come out and just without even with nothing, nothing written, nothing. He'll just sit there with a mic in his hand and he'll just rap something that you thought you would think is somebody just wrote it down. Somebody took a month to write down. He'll just do that off the top of his head, literally. Like I seen him do it enough times where I like, yeah, he's that guy. You know, that's why I put him in my number 9. You know what I'm saying? I can use the Roots albums as a like Things Fall Apart. You know, Illadelph Half Life. You know, I can go in on what he was talking about there. I mean, he's a rapper that got better as he got older. You know what I'm saying? He was cool. You know, he was a dope rapper when he started out, but as you've seen as he got older, he got better and better and better, and now he's just a god MC, straight up. Like I like the some freestyles I've heard and some of the little things he's done. He's done a little solo piece. I think he did something with I think he did a little mixtape, little 5-track EP with Ninth Wonder a while back. Who's a dope producer. I'm gonna do one for the producers down the road. You know what I'm saying? Because I gotta pay my respects to the producers that paved the way. But he did something with Ninth Wonder that I thought was pretty dope. You know what I'm saying? Just so he can kind of stand out in a little bit, and it was crazy. You know what I'm saying? He was just spitting bars, and that just kind of solidified him in my top 10 because he's just like now he's at a point where you know even as an older rapper he's still like one of the greats easily. So he's number 9. Number 8 is my man Ice Cube. NWA Ice Cube, man. He's one of the greats, you know, for his work in the beginning because he did a lot of big things with the NWA. Did a lot of big things on his own, you know what I'm saying? He was in probably one of the among the influential rap groups of all time, NWA, and then he went on his own and he's had just as and he just kind of he elevated from there, you know. It's crazy, you know what I'm saying? His first, I think his 3 solos when he went to when he went solo were just like it was just incredible, you know. You got freaking America's Most Wanted and Death Certificate. You know what I'm saying? It's like those albums are just crazy, you know what I'm saying? As just your 1 and 2 albums, you know, you come out with that, you know, just like as a West Coast rapper too, then your own too, just something that's like introspective to where like people like you make you think is just like on some community stuff. Like it's crazy. You know? I was just hearing something bumping, man. I was just making sure it wasn't nothing wild. But yeah, Ice Cube is one of the great rappers, man. He's definitely like amazing, like as far as just what he did in the beginning, and then he, you know, started doing the war. He did the War and Peace, little double album. He did that, was pretty dope, man. He had classic songs. Today Was a Good Day. You know how we do it. You know those are my. You know how we do is in my forever playlist, man. I don't know. I just like that beat, man. Just that West Coast sound. Just it was solid, man. He's just a great rapper. You know what I'm saying? A great introspective. He also was one of the rappers that had a power and voice. Had a voice and power, and he was just, he was straight to the point. Just hit you hard. Had a great delivery. You know what I'm saying? He made you think about it. It was just real. You know what I'm saying? Something you can relate to. Something you can sit down and and chill to and listen to, and it was real and it was hard. You know, did the with the West Side Connection, did that. You know what I'm saying? He's had his hands in so many different classic groups and classic material, you know what I'm saying, on his own. So he just had the total package. So he had the impact on the game. He had a big influence on a lot of rappers in the West Coast. So yeah, I gotta put him at number 8. Number 7. My man number 7, my man Rakim Allah. Like, you had to be in the game early and heavy in order for you to really truly appreciate Rakim as one of the great rappers. You know what I'm saying? I get it. You know what I'm saying? I know a lot of people ain't gonna have him in the top 10 or maybe even their top 20. So I get it. And that's fine. You know, and a lot of people, especially people like 40 and under. You know, it could even for people 40 under can be like, you know, I got other rappers that I like over him. You know, but me, I was in the game like early when I was like 6 or 7, and I seen the impact. I seen when he came out. You know what I'm saying, with Eric B and Rakim. You know, when the DJ was the man. You know what I'm saying. Like I seen that. You know, I seen him, but he just stood out. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody was like, look, it was the DJ was kind of the headliner in the 80s. You know, that was kind of crazy. Like that's why you see like Air Grandmaster Flash, a DJ, and the Furious 5. You know what I'm saying? Everybody and all the rappers basically, and it's Eric B, the DJ, and Rakim. But Rakim was the beginning of when you actually looked at the rapper like, man, who's the rapper? Like, who is this dude? Who is the dude with the big chain and the big dookie chain with the big medallion and with the rings on, the gold teeth, and he just saying, I ain't no joke. You know, let the rhythm hit him. You know the ledge. You know, just stuff like that, man. Come on, man. Like, this dude, man, he's incredible, man. He had it all. He had the lyrics, he had the bars, he had the introspect, he had the heat, man. He had the power in his voice. He had and he just, man, this man, he literally made people change religions when he was rapping. When he was rapping about just Islam, Allah, and just all that, and just in his faith, within mixed into just the street rapping. People was literally saying, I don't want to be, I don't want to be Christian. I want to be what he's on. I want to be Islam. People was really converting simply because of him. That's power to me. When somebody, you don't see that. Like, when rappers literally make you change religions just because he's coming at you so raw, that's how you know a rapper is on some other stuff. That's how you know he's on another level. That's why I gotta put Rakim at number 7. I gotta hurry up. I can go all day on Rakim, but I'm not gonna go too deep in. But he's not number 7 because he had that power, had that influence on just everybody in the game. Everybody was trying to be like him. Nas's influence off of Rakim. So many rappers are influenced. Wu-Tang. So many rappers are influenced off of just Rakim. So many rappers will tell you that he's their favorite rapper. He's your favorite rapper's favorite rapper. Trust me. I'm telling you. When I listened to him first time, when I first listened to Eric B and Rakim as president, I was like, I see the dude. I was like, okay, this might be kind of cold. And I saw the cover. I was like, and I played it. I was like, oh my goodness, he is spitting right now. This man is. I can't explain it to y'all, but unless you know, if you know, you know. Basically, I'm gonna put it like that. Rakim number 7. Number 6 is my man LL Cool J. Up here to 6 and up is it's pretty simple for me because I'm pretty solid on these 6. But LL Cool J is number 6 for me. Reason why LL Cool J is number 6 is because he's probably, in my opinion, the most versatile rapper that ever in the game. Like, the most versatile. He is like what Drake wishes he was, as far as a rapper. As far as being able to sing. Like, he wasn't even singing, but he was just rapping about everything. Anything from just the beat. He was just with radio. Mama said knock you out. Who shot you? You know what I'm saying? It's just the lady songs, just everything. I need love. Come on, man. He was doing it from the beginning, from day one. You know, he just LL was just raw, just raw. You know, he just had everything. He had every like he hit every song. R&B, just everything. You know what I'm saying? And I respect that. You know what I'm saying? That he tried. He did everything well. You know, he was just a jack of all trades. And you know what I'm saying? He a battle rap. If you test him, he like if you let him if you sit if you come at him, he's coming right back at you. He just like but he'll do the lady song real quick. And then he'll come back and just hit you with something hard, just raw, and you're just like, man, LL is just that dude to me, man. I always have LL's always gonna be up there, man, in my top 10, no matter what. You know what I'm saying? That's straight up like he's that guy. He's one of the goats. Straight up, man. Number 6, LL Cool J, man. He's definitely the truth, man. I give him all his flowers. You know what I'm saying? Nobody can tell me nothing about LL. LL is that dude to me. Straight up, you know what I'm saying? As a kid, I was like, man, I want to be like LL. LL was an impact dude, man. People, I don't think he get enough respect for who he is right now. You know what I'm saying? But he's in my top 10. I don't care what anybody says, but I put him up at 6. You know what I'm saying? Just because I know he was in the game forever. His longevity's high. He had good albums. He had dope albums, classics. He was one of the first artists on Def Jam. He's one of the pioneers, and he lasted very long in the game. And he's doing his thing right now. He's still doing movies. LL Cool J is that guy. Now I'm gonna get to my top 5. Number 5 could be controversial, but I'm gonna explain why. Number 5 is Jay Z. Jay Z. If I was doing a list of who are the most successful rappers, Jay Z probably would be number 1. There'll be no question about that. Jay Z is the most successful rapper. He made the most money. He's and business wise, he's shattered doors. He's a billionaire. He's incredible as a businessman, as a mogul, he's done so, and so he elevated the game so much, and he elevated the look of the rapper. He elevated that to a mogul status. From being from a rapper to a mogul, that's something that can't be matched from any rapper on any list. Nobody can sit there and say that they did it bigger than Jay. No question. I agree with that. But as far as straight up rapping, I cannot put this man above Big, because I feel like Big kind of fathered his style in a lot of ways. I guess you can say that about Rakim, but it just, just Big was on a whole nother level. He's up. He's coming up. But Jay-Z, he embodied a lot of the things I like about Big. Jay-Z has a lot of those things, but he doesn't have certain things that Big has. He's not as good as a storyteller as Big. He's not as, he does his he doesn't, it's just little he's lacking in some areas that I feel like Big is just out of this world at. But he's still one of the top 5 rappers. I think his wordplay is probably top notch. His wordplay is amazing. And the thing about Jay-Z is a lot of people don't think about it. A lot of people don't bring this up about Jay-Z. But whenever I listen to a Jay-Z album, the crazy thing about it is that he's being honest. A lot of things, like, so a lot of times when he's rapping, he's playing with it. He's playing with a lot of you think he's playing, but he's telling you the truth. He's actually if you want to know anything about Jay-Z, that's the one thing I loved about Jay-Z, is that if you were curious, because he seemed like he's pretty outside of rap and stuff like that. He really didn't get too much in he really didn't be out. He didn't put his life out there like that. But when it came to when his album came on, you would know everything that happened to him from the last album to then. If you were really paying attention, you would know what was going on in his life from the last time you heard him get on the mic to now. You have a little brief idea even from a business sense, what he's been dealing with people. He'll break all that down a little bit. As he got older, he started getting to the point where he started just telling you, like, yo, this is what I've been doing lately, and this is what I've been dealing with, and this and he'll do it in such a clever way, in the wordplay, with the wordplay, and use double entendres, and just use all these different types of just creative ways of just basically talking about himself, in a braggadocious way, And it was just crazy. I'm like, dude, you just like I really just figured like, oh, I do. Oh, that's what you was doing. Okay, that's what you was dealing with. Oh, you talking to me? People beefing with him. He'll address everything. He'll address all the side talk with people. He won't even say nothing about it in the media. But when it comes to his album, he'll address it. He'll have a song about it. And he was one of the rappers that do everything. He does the albums quick. Doesn't off top of the dome. He don't even write nothing. Just because a lot of it's just based on his thoughts on what he's been thinking about with what he's been dealing with. From the last time you heard him spit on the album to that day till when his new album comes, you're like, okay, now you see what he's thinking. You'll know what he's thinking, basically, about based on like you ever wondering what he was thinking about a certain situation or what somebody said about it. He'll address it, and I love that about him. That's why Jay is definitely in the top 5, but can't quite put him up there because I got Big up here. So I just Big is just something else to me. Number 4, I gotta put Face, man. Face, Scarface. Scarface, one of the most powerful rappers, to ever come out. One of the most real, honest rappers to ever come out. You know what I'm saying? One of the best storytellers, one of the best, just put everything. My mind plays tricks on me, from the Ghetto Boys to doing songs with Pac, Smile, just doing it hard, you know what I'm saying? Every rapper respects him, even when as he got older, you know what I'm saying? Like his last album we did when he was older, like one of my favorite albums he ever did when he was older, like Deeply Rooted, you know what I'm saying? It's just amazing. Just amazing. The production's amazing. He's just a raw rapper, man. He's just amazing as a rapper, you know what I'm saying? Amazing as a storyteller, amazing as a introspective rapper. Know how to touch your soul. He touches your heart, when he spits, when he gets on the mic. You know what I'm saying? That's why, whenever you listen to the Beanie Siegel albums, and when he's always on Beanie's album. So whenever somebody puts him on a feature, you know what they're looking for. They're looking for that face, they're looking for that something that'll just make you you'll walk away from the song, you'll be like, dang, Face just killed it. Dang, I felt like I learned something from Face. I felt like that touched my soul a little bit, So, Face is definitely up there, man. I'm starting to shorten this up a little bit, but Face is like you just gotta listen to Face as a rapper, man. You gotta The Fix, just listen to The Fix. Just go home, or after if you're watching this, go home, just go get on your phone, look up The Fix, and just listen to that. You know what I'm saying, and then you find your way. And then that's it. This I'd say just take that album. That's one of my favorite Scarface albums. Just take that album and just marinate on that, and then however you feel about him is cool. You know what I'm saying? Just listen to that album. That's your homework for the night. Now, number 3 is Notorious B.I.G. Now, and I said earlier that he had he just like when I was listening to like a couple weeks ago, I was probably doing a delivery, and I was like, let me listen to Life After Death. I'm not even talking about Ready to Die. Ready to Die is just, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you if you don't think that's a classic. But Life After Death, I was listening to that, and I was just blown away. Like to this day, I was like, man, I didn't listen to it in a minute. It's been a while since I listened to it. So I put it in, I put it on the phone, and I was just like, listen. I was like, man, this sounds. It makes so, because as a grown man, it makes so much sense. And he was 25 when he made that song, 24 when he made that album, and I'm a grown man. And I just was like, what am I listening to? Like, this is amazing. Even more now because I understand it. As an adult, I understand exactly what he's talking about. Like, that's a cool thing about a lot of older albums is that they make more sense as you get older. And then you realize that these dudes were kids. Kids were half your age when they made these albums, and you're just like, man, like how were they so creative at that point in their life? How were they so aware of what was going on and how things was moving at that point in their life? And it's probably because they had no choice. They didn't have phones and cell phones and everything like that. The world around them was just in front of them, and they can just relate to all of it. You know, I bet they struggling with how everything has changed a little bit. You know, these older people. You know, even me. You know, what I'm saying it's kind of like I'm at that certain point where I don't really want to. You know, I don't want to elevate too much. You know, what I'm saying I want to. I'm just gonna. I don't want to get too digital with the way the world is moving and too electric. You know, I just want to be. Kind of. I want to keep maintain my human element. But Big was like he was just amazing. He was just he's one of the most powerful rappers. He's probably the most like as far as just his voice and just had the total package of MCing. He just had the powerful voice. He had the lyrics. He had the flow. He had the wittiness, the wordplay, the storytelling. That's probably his strongest. So he was a good story. He was a storyteller, and he was very catchy with what he was talking about. Something that he'll slip in things that that was current, and he'll throw in he just had it all, man. He just kept it street, kept it hood while keeping it fly at the same time. When he's even on on the first song, like on Life After Death, when somebody got to die. You know what I'm saying? When he's like, I'm sitting in a room dreaming with Leah Jets and Coops. You know what I'm saying? It's like crazy. You know what I'm saying? And then he just he keeps it real. You know what I'm saying? He just keeps it real while keeping it fly. He just does it all at once. You know what I'm saying? And it just kind of hits you all at once. You're just like, man, he just you can't even be mad at him. He's like, you can. He's kind of like I can't explain it. You know what I'm saying? He was just such an amazing rapper at his age, and and just so brilliant with just how he put together his bars. And it was his flow was just different. You know what I'm saying? It was just effortless. So he's definitely in my top three. Ready to Die, classic. Life After Death, double album, classic. And it's just he didn't have the body of work that some rappers have even now. You know what I'm saying? But the two things he did, he was gonna be great for the rest of his career. The two albums he did are probably to this day some of the top albums that ever been made. So he's in my number three. Rest in peace to Big. Number two is Tupac. Tupac is definitely number two. You know what I'm saying? He could be number three. Sometimes he could be number four, depending on the mood. But Tupac is one of the more impactful rappers ever to touch the mic, because he's probably just amazing as far as a rapper. He just he's also he was just a naturally gifted poet. He can just freestyle at the drop of the hat. I remember he was a better freestyler than Big to me, in my opinion. I think Big was a better writer, but Tupac was a better poet, better rapper. I remember I seen him when I watched this video of him and Big when they were cool, and they did the little freestyle, and now you can tell Big was his was kind of written. It seemed like his was he wrote it up. He probably had it in his head. It was something he wrote down, and he had it, and it was just kind of just floating in his head, and he kind of just spit it off. But Tupac, when he was freestyling, it felt like he literally dropped that off the dome, like he was really going off of the things that he was seeing at that moment. He was just rapping off of what he just in the moment. He wasn't thinking of nothing that was written down from yesterday or the day before, nothing like that. It was literally, it was off the dome, off the brain. You know what I'm saying? Just as a poet, he can just at the drop of the hat say go. He's gone. He's going. You know what I'm saying? That's why everybody used to say that he was so quick in the studio and had it. He'll go in there, he'll hear the beat, and boom, he'll be 10 minutes, be in and out the studio. It was cool. We done. Let's go. Hurry up. You rushing the engineer. Press record. Let's go. You know what I'm saying? All the stories you hear about Tupac. Let's go. Just press record, man. He was introspective as well. He was introspective just early in his career. Tupacalypse Now. Amazing album. It's crazy, man. He's drinking Me Against the World, All Eyes on Me. Machiavelli. Amazing album. Strictly for my end. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna say that on here, but just those albums, just amazing albums. He was just piecing together masterpieces. Me Against the World's a masterpiece. My favorite Tupac album is probably I say All Eyes on Me. It was just it was a collection of great songs. You can say Me Against the World because it was such an introspective album. It was a good look in the mirror for me. It was a reflective album of his, but I would say All Eyes on Me. It was powerful. He was just in his element, and it was into himself. It was just well done, well crafted. Death Row Records, they crafted gave him all the right production, just the right energy. What I'm saying, for him to create like a classic album. What I'm saying, I thought it was amazing, and his impact even now is just you know everybody just looks at him as one of the great rappers. And he just had such an impact on everybody, and and he, matter. And if he was alive today, man, it would just so many things would be spoken on, so many things would be, you know, would be put in his place. What I'm saying, with him as an activist and as a voice, in the community, the voice in the streets. What I'm saying, he was one of the. He was one of the main rappers that wasn't afraid to put himself out there to say what needed to be said and to do what was right. You know, just off his impact and everything like that has to put him at the top, near the top of the list. As one of the greatest rappers. He's probably one of the most impactful rapper on this list. But my number one is Nas, and the reason why I put Nas up there is just because for me, as a listener of music, as a listener of hip hop, there's he's impacted me personally the most from just the things that he raps about, the things that he talks about, the things that he reflects on, the things that things that are going on in his life, and things the way he in the stories that he tells, and the creativity behind his raps, and his bars and his lyrics, and the thought that that it puts me in. I always feel like I've learned something from Nas, especially early on. Now, he's kind of he's rapping. He's still there's still his moments where where he can put your brain at put your mind on thought, in thought mode. But it just hits me different whenever he raps. It's just like, especially early on, it's just like, and his voice was just so, it's just conversational, like he's talking to you, but he's rapping, and it's just like, and it's just so smooth, and it just, and it's just the bars are just, it's just perfect, and it's just like how he weaves his words to make it, and it's so clear. It's not really, he's not really. Sometimes he'll get creative and try to, and something to mean something. It'll just be a double entendre or triple entendre maybe, but it'll just mean something different to somebody else. But like some of his raps, like especially in the beginning, it'll just mean something different to somebody else. You'd be like, and you like, dang, you talk to somebody about a song, and they'll say, like, well, this is how I felt about this song. You're like, no, I felt so totally different. But it's universally like incredible. Illmatic is just an incredible album. One of the probably is up there as one of the greatest solo albums, like greatest first albums of all time. By just a young rapper. I'm saying he's 18 when he did that, 17, 18, just incredible. But to me, hold on a second. Just thought that was weird, but I think his greatest album was it was written by far. That was his greatest album, and I thought like it was just incredible, just because how it just like it felt like he evolved as a rapper. You can tell like he became a man on the album as a rapper, and he was just incredible, and he just like had a way of just rapping and listening, and just how he just put it together. He just put it all together. A lot of people when I remember when it first came out, because I bought it the day it came out. When I was a kid, I was like 10 or 11 or something like that, and yeah, it's incredible, man. It was just an amazing album, and just some of his albums after that were, I am freaking Nostradamus, probably his weakest album, but that still album was still decent. It was just like the thing about his albums is like you can't even compare them to other people's albums. You gotta, it's like it's like you comparing them to his own albums. Like that's what separates the greats from the other rappers. You can't even compare them to other rappers' albums. You gotta, it's just great. You know what I'm saying? His albums, they're all universally solid albums. It's just that when you compare them to their other albums before that, their other great albums, you're like, nah, it's not the same. And that's what the thing about Nas is that it's not the same, like, album. So just that's what separates him from a lot of rappers, man. He's just one of the greats, and everybody has him different places, but for me personally, he's my number one rapper all time, easily. But anyway, man, I'm about to get off here, man. I gotta go check on things downstairs to see what's going on with my boy, because he's down there. He's playing games. I think he's getting into something he shouldn't be getting into. But anyway, I just wanted to lock in on that. Then let you guys know how I felt about those albums, and I'll get at you guys, on some other stuff pretty soon here. Just best producers, best groups. Start getting into the hip hop discussion. You know what I'm saying? Gonna keep it raw and keep it authentic. You know what I'm saying? I might do that. I might leave this up for a second to see how y'all think, and then I might actually do a more professional video on it. I just want to do a little live stream, at the house. Keep it raw. You know what I'm saying? So y'all can see how I feel about everything I just heard. But anyway, man, I'm gonna drop off, and I'll holler at y'all, man. Dub Life.